Hi, everybody. Welcome to the Messiah Lutheran Church Prayer-a-thon as we continue our work on the A Place at the Table for Everyone campaign. We're getting so excited for our Consecration Sunday, if you will, coming up on the 31st tomorrow or the day after, depending on when you're watching this. I'm Rich Becker. I'm one of the co-chairs.
And this is Dave Barnett, the other co-chair.
We're really pleased with the way that everyone has responded to this and the way that people are so excited about what we're doing at Messiah and what we're proposing to do at Messiah to make the sanctuary more available to everyone, to really provide everyone a place at the table, to make upstairs and downstairs accessible, and to create some awesome stewardship opportunities for our entire community, really make Messiah and Trinity centers of the community as we really like to think of them as. So what Mr. Barnett and I would like to do for you today in this space is kind of go through the prospectus. At this point, everyone has probably had a chance to see it a little bit, but maybe you haven't had a chance to really dig in or get an explanation. So we're going to put that on the screen right now, and Mr. Barnett is going to get us started.
Great. There we go. So the first page shows some of our current activities, in many ways that Messiah, both in worship, education, kids activities, social activities, all the things that are currently going on in our church. And, we're really excited about, all the ongoing ministry of Messiah in Rotterdam. If we go to the next page, this is a letter that has been sent out to the congregation, maybe in various forms, but tells a little bit about what we're doing. Messiah was founded in November 1927, almost 94 years ago. And through that time, Messiah's making sure that, it's always been our position that there's been a place at the table for everyone, but we're going to improve that. Right now, today, Messiah is one of the fastest growing churches in the upstate synod of the Evangelical Church of America. And we're just recently nominated as one of the 50 congregations' most innovative ministry operations. And through this, we're coming together, as we have for many generations, seeking ways to engage and assist others in our community. Right now, we're in the process, and we're joining with the wonderful people at Trinity, coming together, finding, working to put the Trinity Community Center into operation, something that's going to further our presence in the community. We have a very successful food pantry currently in our church. Be moving that over to the Trinity Community Center, but if you look at what we're doing right now, the food pantry between January and September of this year served almost 12,000 meals to people of need, and we've served 12,000 guests during that 9-month period. If we move on to the next, that page, okay, there we are. So a place at the table for everyone. Our campaign goal for what we're going to be doing here is 570,000. 570,000 seems like a lot, but we really think that that's doable.
Always nice to have visitors during the call, Mr. Barnett. That's good to hear.
Yeah, not much I can do about that. But anyway, we divided this into 3 separate categories in our campaign work. First is renovations for accessibility. As one of our members pointed out, the American Disabilities Act of 1990, that's more than 30 years ago, and we really don't meet any of the requirements for that. It's not just the requirements, but we're constantly reminded of what people that come to the church aren't able to get to the fellowship hall, aren't able to go to the restrooms in the basement. We it's something we drastically need to change. It's for the good of everybody. We also want to improve our welcome to the church. Right now, and I guess I hadn't thought about it too much, but people come to the church on Oak Street, and that's just 2050 Oak Street. There's no way to get into the church on the front of the church, and it's just not a welcoming place. And we're also improving our space. It's been pointed out that we need increased space for small groups, for adult education. We're going to add to that and increase that. And in addition, improve some of the infrastructure issues we have. Now, if you look at the pictures here, top picture is back in the mid-60s. It's a picture of Ed Enderkoffler handing the keys to the new sanctuary to Pastor Rieger. Hopefully we'll soon be, maybe Rich and I will be doing the same with Pastor Dustin. The middle picture shows the construction of the new sanctuary back in the mid-60s. And the bottom picture shows, who knows, it might have been Easter Sunday, a gathering in the old church fellowship hall, which is, down the basement in the old part of the church. Now, if we turn the page, shows some architectural renderings of just what we're going to do. So if we could focus in on the entrance there. Just a little bit of history to the church. The building on the left is the original church. The sanctuary was upstairs, fellowship hall in the basement, built in the late 40s. The building on the right is the new sanctuary that was built in the 1960s. And the architectural rendering shows the new proposed entrance, very welcoming entrance between the two. You'll notice that it fits very well aesthetically, I think. It shows, I don't think there's going to be any doubt on where you can go into the church. Of course, we'll still have the side entrance on Oak Street, but the new entrance is going to be a big improvement for us. Now, the second picture on the right there, the narthex, that's a picture, I guess, standing by the windows to the extreme. If you're in the narthex, if you're in the entrance to the narthex, it's down completely to the right and shows the expanded area in the new narthex. So there's a plan view or an elevation view of the church, sort of a cutaway, but let's go down to the plan view and maybe take a walk through, show just what we're doing here. If you look we've got a new entryway portico in the old courtyard. The courtyard, the area between the old church and the new church, pretty much disused, fills up with water. Part of the infrastructure thing is going to be to, find a way to take care of all the water, snow that runs off there and turn that into a welcoming space. So you'll go in through the new portico, a double door, which will be, you're not going to have to get two kids and an adult to open the doors. It's all going to be automatic. And as you go into the expanded narthex, the expanded narthex now runs you can see the old narthex in the sort of a greenish gray kind of color, and is extended down to the new area. So one of the first things that you'll see on the left is the new office. Our old office is current office is sort of old and dungy. This is going to be a brand new space that will be welcoming somebody coming into the church. That's be greeted by the office there. And you proceed on into the expanded, the lobby, the expanded narthex, and immediately to your left, you'll see the stairs, the new stairs to the fellowship hall. The old stairs, very narrow, steep, difficult to navigate for, just people that are agile, much less anybody that has mobility issues. So that's our first accessibility improvement. You proceed on back, actually to where it says well, you proceed on back, which the area is currently the mechanic room, the furnace room. The furnace room is being moved up a story, freeing up all that space where the current furnace room is. And to the left, then you'll see the new proposed lift that goes from the primarily from the entry floor, but goes from the basement all the way up to the fellowship hall. So that's a really big part of our accessibility improvements. And continue on down, another very important part of the stairs to the basement, and continue on down to the left, the two handicap accessible restrooms. So, somebody, they're immediately accessible to somebody coming in through the entrance portico, through the current entrance and the church. So everything's, all the facilities are available on first floor there. And continuing on down to the left, you'll see the new library meeting room. This will be adult education, small group meetings, really going to be a big improvement. Now when you have a small meeting or something, you have to appropriate pastor's office or do something like that. This vast improvement. So I think that covers all the issues on the what the physical changes are.
Yeah, and certainly significant physical changes, and all of them designed to really open the church up to everyone. We shared a story at a meeting recently this week that last Sunday we had a special farewell for Hilda Hofstetter, who's leaving the area. She'll still be joining us on video church each Sunday. But it was sad that we had this wonderful send-off for Hilda, and then she couldn't go upstairs to join everyone up in the fellowship hall for her own party or something, or a portion of the party was for her, for Doug and also for the colleagues for the baptism. But that was sad that, she just had to leave when she was done and everyone went upstairs. And this will really alleviate that. And the walkthrough that Mr. Barnett just gave you really shows you all of the great improvements that'll happen to really make Messiah, although still on 3 floors, really seem as if it's on 1 floor, because it's accessible to everyone from a variety of different ways, from the widened stairs for people who can get up and down stairs, but just need a little bit more space to do so. Or for people who can't get up and down stairs, we'll have the lift for them to be able to get up and down. And we'll have the bathrooms that are easily accessible as well, which I think is great. One of the other things that is very important when it comes to this is what can we do with this space? And what is it that we are opening up our church? We want it to be a community, a center for the community, not to be confused with our Trinity Community Center, but we really want this to be an inviting place for everyone, whether you're a member of Messiah or not. So what ways are we going to open things up to the community? If you look at page 5 in the prospectus, which we're showing on the screen right now, it really talks about a number of different ways that we're going to connect with our community directly and indirectly. We really want to have additional space for people to gather. We're going to accomplish that by expanding a narthex downstairs. If you remember, if you've been a member of the church for a while, you may remember where the original doors were, where the narthex is now, where the seating is now. That was just a patio back in the day, and an outdoor patio. There were doors there. So the initial expansion really opened that up and created some more space for gathering, but we've outgrown it. So now this space will be ample for us to have smaller gatherings in that area without having to go upstairs if we don't need to use the fellowship hall. Bible studies will be there. Even recently, larger, Russell McDonald held one of the Zentangle meditation meetings out in that area. It was a small group. If it were a larger group, you would not have been able to do that. So the expanded narthex will really allow us to do that. During the time that we had surveyed people at Messiah to ask them, what are your needs? What are things that you think are important to be part of this expansion? One of the things that came up was really an increased or awareness of mental health issues. And what can we do to help people in our community, certainly in our congregation, but also in our wider community, really be able to do that. And this added space will be able to accommodate programming for people who are looking for that type of service and really be able to have things. And you'll see some of the things that we've listed there, reaching out to local mental health agencies to support people who are struggling with mental health issues. Monthly newsletters will be a part of this as well. The weekly meditation sessions, we're not currently doing them weekly, but we're doing them often. We can expand that because we'll have more space. And then we'll also have space for more adult conversations and youth conversations in different support groups, all centered on mental health, and including a mental health awareness fair and just different ways that people can improve their mental health. We want to be a resource for people who are struggling with addiction, no matter what that addiction is. And we can hold sessions there as we already do at Trinity, but we can expand that to Messiah and really open that up for more people. And then just at the bottom line, it's really, we've done such a great job over the last 10 years of building our ministry and building our congregation, inviting and being welcoming to new people, that we want to sustain that and we want to grow that. So this additional space will allow us to do that. It'll allow us to continue to be a welcoming and inviting congregation, a proactive congregation, a learning congregation, a socially engaged congregation, and a congregation that really is able to be together at all times. Everyone will have a place at the table at Messiah and will be able to access that table no matter what floor it's on. So as Mr. Barnett mentioned, this campaign is looking at a $570,000, this renovation rather, is looking at a $570,000 price tag. That is conservative. It's on the high side. We hope it will be lower, but based on what we know, that is the number that we're shooting for. Yes, it's a lot of money. And if you've heard Mr. Barnett and I talk about this before, we kind of say the same thing each time. We were both taken aback by the $570,000 price tag at the beginning as well, as I'm sure many of you were. But then Pastor did some research and he shared something that I think is very important. And I want to go back in the prospectus for a second and just go back to this picture of the new church rather being built back in 1965. Our budget in 1965 was $20,000. That was our annual church budget. The project that you see under construction there was a $100,000 project, just a little bit more than $100,000. So that's 5 times our annual budget. That sounds like a lot, but when you look at the project that we're doing now and the $570,000 price tag, it's actually less than 5 times our current annual budget. I'll size that back down. So we've done this before, and there are people that are working on this that have seen us do this before. I was reminded that Dick Gresham was one of the people that was in charge of fundraising back in 1965, and they shattered that. It's just, they hit that goal, and we've got that beautiful church now that's been there for 56 years. We're doing a lower multiple of the 5 times the budget. So we know we can get there. Once we all heard that, I think that was a settling thing. And I could speak only for myself, Mr. Barnett, but I'll ask you just to chime in on that as well. I felt settled when I heard that. When I heard that we've already done this once, that settled me a little bit. How did that make you feel when you heard it?
Oh, it settled most of my concerns, I believe. I really think we're going to be able to do this.
Yeah, I'm confident as well. And we're already off to a great start. And I do want to bring to your attention the gift chart and exactly how we're going to do this. And this is just an example. We know we're not going to get exactly these specific numbers right down to the 3 zeros at the end. That's not what it's about. This is just to give you an indication of everyone's gift counts. Every single dollar that is pledged or that is intended to go towards this campaign really counts. And we need that top gift, or we needed that top gift of $150,000 to get us started, and we got that. So it came from 2 people, but we got that initial gift. So that put us off and running. And then as you go down the gift chart, you'll see we need a gift at $75,000 or 2 gifts at $50,000 or a combination somewhere of that. But as you go down that gift, you'll see many under $500. And a lot of times when you see a big number on a screen of $570,000, that's a big number. People are like, well, my small donation isn't going to help. And I'm going to tell you that you're wrong, because every single donation helps. This is about impact. This is about meaning for you. What about this renovation project, this expansion, is important to you? What impacts you in your life? What impacts you, your life, and your family or your friends? That's what it's all about. And I encourage you to really think about that impact first before you think about, if you haven't already made your statement of intent, but before you think about what kind of financial commitment you'd like to make that about the impact. Make it about what's important to you first. So you'll see there's different levels on there, and we're happy to talk to you about any of those different levels. And we'll talk in a moment about some different ways that you can give that may be advantageous to you, and maybe ways that you hadn't thought about. I know that the gift that Christy and I made, we are doing it a different way than I originally thought about it, which enabled us to give a little bit more than we had originally planned. So we'll get into that in just a moment. But you can also see how a weekly donation or a monthly donation or an annual donation over 3 years, and that is the span of this campaign. We're asking people, it can be a 3-year commitment. You can certainly make a gift right off the bat and just write a check, and that's that. Or you can do it over time at whatever span, I guess, or whatever intervals you prefer, whatever makes it easier for you. But you can see that how quickly it adds up. $3.85, which is less than a cup of coffee at Starbucks, nets $600 over 3 years. $100 a week roughly will net $15,000 over 3 years. It adds up quickly. So a small weekly sacrifice can add up to a really, really large and impactful gift. But at the end of the day, it's about what's impactful to you, what really means something to you to be part of this campaign. You'll also see that our steering committee is right there. Mr. Barnett, myself, the co-chairs, Tom Collins, Barb Hallett, and Penny and City as well. Not listed there, Jody Fleming and Christy Becker, along with Jody's close friend, Gina Betty, who did a phenomenal job at both our congregational and our leadership event. And you'll see all of Messiah's leadership there and Mrs. Hallett's wonderful campaign prayer. So I encourage you to review all of those things and review the gift chart. And if you have questions about the gift chart, if you have any questions about this, please reach out to anybody on the steering committee listed right there on page 6. We're all happy to answer your questions. And if we don't know the answer, we'll be happy to get those answers for you. So I'll move on now to some of the commonly asked questions. And Mr. Barnett, I'll ask you to kind of run down some of the ones here that are, that really stuck out to you, or things that you feel are important in this area.
Well, we have to, first of all, look at what the campaign starts officially next month, financially, and runs for 3 years. That's until November of 2024. One of the things I'd like to point out is that that's really a 4 tax year period. So, if you have somebody that does your taxes for you, if you have a financial advisor, talk to them, see what ideas they might have for you. There's a lot of appreciated stock. There's gifts could be made of appreciated stock. Sometimes people qualify for special considerations in their IRAs. There's a lot of different there's even some special IRS rules for what is deductible, additional deductions for charitable giving this tax year. And who knows what might happen next year. So these are all things to keep in mind. The gifts can be, as we said, appreciated stock. Could even be something as property that you have. It's
I remember Mr. Barnett, Evan mentioning that during a campaign, one of at another church, that I believe someone made their donation in the form of chickens, because that was the commodity that they had. I hope I'm remembering that correctly, but so it really can be, the value. There's a lot of things you can do with value, and again, it's about impact and what's valuable to you.
right. So if you have any questions, take a look at these commonly asked questions. One of the questions, I guess, is you'll be asked to consider a range of gift. That's we're asking that everyone preferably consider what their gift can be to this campaign.
And a point of clarity, just as to something we'll be doing, as we give you some quotes from leadership and some other great pictures of our youth and some of the things that we've done in the community. A reminder that we will be talking about the campaign and the annual fund. And they really are two separate things. The campaign is all about our expansion project and our stewardship to the community. And the annual fund is what keeps the church going, what keeps the lights on, which keeps the salaries paid and the property kept up. So they really are two separate things, but you will see them on the intent form that you'll get, which looks just like this. It's a statement of intent. And you'll see in here that there's a listing for both your campaign gift and your annual gift. And you'll see that those will be available on Sunday as well. So just remember that those are two separate commitments that we're asking you to make. And we have found so far that people have been incredibly generous in both areas. And we're very grateful to be sitting here, really Mr. Barnett, 3 weeks into the campaign at almost $350,000, 60% of our goal, which is phenomenal to be sitting at that point right now. So thanks to everyone who has made that donation and made that commitment to Messiah. And we look forward to hearing of everyone else's commitment as well. On Sunday, we'll do that. There will be, as I said, there will be prospectuses and there'll be statements of intent available for everyone there. If you're coming to church, we ask that even if you've already made your commitment, that you fill out a commitment card anyway. And just on that card, write, I've already committed, just so we know. But we want everybody to be able to participate in what I think is going to be a very moving moment at our church, where we take 5 minutes and we listen to some beautiful music from our Messiah choir, and we contemplate exactly what it is that makes the largest impact about this campaign to us. And then we put that on our pledge card, and then we walk those pledge cards up to the altar and we give that gift. I think, if you do that individually or you do that as a family, I think that's going to be a really meaningful moment. And we want everyone, even if you've already made your statement of intent, to do that. If you're not in the building on Sunday, that's not a problem. You will see when we get to that point a link on Facebook that will take you to an online giving page that will look exactly like the statement of intent card. It'll have all the same information, and you can just fill that out and submit it electronically. We want everybody to be a part of this. After all, that's what this is all about, is inclusivity and making sure everyone has a place at the table. So if your place at the table on Sunday is sitting home at your kitchen table, we want you to be a part of it, so you'll have that opportunity to do it electronically. Mr. Barnett, anything else you want to cover?
No, just that we hope to see everybody there this coming Sunday, the 31st, for our, what do we call it this year? It's
Commitment Sunday.
Commitment Sunday, okay.
It's going to be a special service. I really look forward to seeing everybody there. We thank you for your generosity and for your prayerful consideration of this. This is something that we are doing now, as Cheryl Borski so perfectly put it at the congregational event the other night, that will impact our children. And this is something that 50 years from now, we're going to look back at what we've done here the same way we're looking back now at the building of the new sanctuary, at the current sanctuary, and what a transformational time that was for Messiah, and created so much more space for us at that time. This expansion will do the same thing that expansion did 56 years ago. So thanks so much for joining us. I hope you enjoy the rest of Prayer-a-thon 2021, and we'll look forward to seeing everybody on Sunday. So long, everybody.
Goodbye.